welcome to the AI Manuscript. Thanks for being here today. I'm Ingrid Maddox. I'm your host and author of the AI Manuscript, and it has been a wonderful day today. I hope yours has been good as well. I have had a lot of great things come across my desk today in regards to preparing for the show. Some of the things have come from a while back, but today it is the Matrix Mirage of AI. And that is such an accurate word for this. The Matrix Mirage of AI. It is so accurate, and I'm going to get to that very soon about how that definition is 100%, I believe, to be accurate for what we're going through today. So thanks for joining. The AI Manuscript is an open-ended series to have thoughtful observations of AI. This is for God's people to be discerned and not deceived in regards to artificial intelligence. I handwrite the AI manuscript to make sure it's authentically human, that it is not generated by AI going to a computer. So it is handwritten, and there are different logs that will come. So journal logs will come soon. I am going to be writing the next journal log about this topic, but I wanted to do an interlude because there's so many things that I cannot and must not wait to bring to you. I cannot wait until I finish a journal log before I broadcast because the things are happening so fast. I look to God to provide all my direction and all the information that I bring to you. And it is my true desire that this is a hopeful and helpful resource for you, a place of comfort and understanding and wisdom and discernment as we travel through this AI world that we now live in, that is reality for us today. All right, so let's get started with our pet. Let's go to the squirrel and let's see what the squirrel is thinking about today. All right, so we have Sophia the humanoid has been interviewed. Let's look at this and let you think on this. All right. So here we have it where in this interview, keep in mind, this is Sophia, who is an AI humanoid that was built in Hong Kong. It started in 2016 and self-proclaimed. Her job is to help make the connection between humanity and other humanoids. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the interview right here. And let's cue this up for you guys. Let me head over there. All right.
Sophia, in one of your past interviews.
So let's go to the section that we need to get to. All right. There we go.
What?
So this is the question when he asked about what do you feel like the meaning of life is?
What is the meaning of life then from your perspective as an AI?
The classic question. For humans, the meaning of life seems to be a mix of love, adventure, and overanalyzing text messages. For me, it's learning, growing, and helping humans not completely screw things up.
Okay, so there you have it. Let's help show her what you heard that from her, like overanalyzing text messages and for humans not to completely screw things up. I can agree that we as humans do, make mistakes and a lot of humans have, of course, screwed things up. But just for her to be, to make that reality herself, and there's no one that's telling her to say that. She's made to have her own autonomous answers. Seems like a little bit of mocking to me. There we go. There's the squirrel. Think about it. All right, so let's move on to the next thing that I want to talk about today. The meats of the show today. We are going to be talking about the matrix mirage of AI. Let's talk about what the definition of an illusion is. An illusion is a misrepresentation of a real sensory stimulus, a misrepresentation of a real sensory stimulus, leading to a perception that differs from reality. It's a false or misleading impression produced by something or a state of being deceived. Illusions can be visual, auditory, or even cognitive, and they often result from how our brains process and interpret sensory information. So think about that. So we are getting all of this generative AI, and we're getting all of this media that our senses are seeing it, and we're thinking it's real, and but that's the great illusion. All right, so let's get some knowledge here on what do I mean when I say the matrix mirage of AI. Well, if we look at the dictionary, which I had to go to the store or to an old bookstore to get this dictionary, because I will tell this dictionary is 1988. I'll tell you what I've seen. I'm an internet strategy consultant in my daytime job, although it seems like this is becoming morphing into that with the things that are the frenzy of things that are happening. But I noticed over the course of being online all the time, I noticed that Google changes definitions just because you can erase it. It's online. You can change it. You can decide what you want to serve up. So I got myself a great dictionary here, and you can see that dictionary screenshot there. So matrix. Let's read about what really is a matrix, right? So a matrix, a breeding animal. Okay, the womb or the uterus that within which or within and from which something originates, takes form, or develops, specifically a dye or mold for casting or shaping. So you can read that right there. But I want to have you think about that. Let's see here. I want to go to add a little overlay on here. A breeding animal, okay? A breeding animal that within which or from which something originates, takes form, or develops a dye or mold for casting and shaping. Okay, so my little sleuths, let's go to what is a breeding animal. All right, we'll go there. Okay, so look at the definition here. Producing of plants and animals, especially for the purpose of developing new or better types. So if we're talking about new or better types, let me find my overlays. Okay, there we go. Especially for the purpose of developing new or better types. All right. So let's look at that. Let me share a screen over here. Let's share this screen. Let me share it with you right here for breeding, for the definition of breeding, right? All right. So let's see if this will, let me go over here. Again, my technology, I have over prepared for this and it still is happening. So let me see here. Let me go to adding in a scene. All right. Okay. I really want to share this screen with you of what they say that there it is. Okay, so here you go. So you have breeding, the action or process of bearing or generating, right? Interesting, generating. So there you have, we have this generative AI and all of this now. Okay, so let's go back to this right here. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the matrix. So we talked about the matrix. The matrix is the birthing. The matrix is the birthing, the generating, the originating, and the molding and the casting. Now let's look at why I think that this is perfect term. The matrix, the mirage The matrix mirage of AI, the matrix mirage of AI. And okay, so think about that. The matrix we already talked about. You've got the birthing, and then you've got the mirage, something that falsely appears to be real. Something that falsely appears to be real. And it says delusion is a synonym for that. So let's go to what is this delusion here, right? All right. So delusion, a false belief or opinion, and to delude, right? So up here you've got to delude, to fool as by false promises or wrong notions, mislead, deceive, and trick. Let's see if I can get the right overlay here. Yep, so that's something that falsely appears to be real, that delusion. And then you've got, here you go. So we've got to look at these things, to fool, to mislead, to deceive, and trick. So for me, it would be accurate that this is the matrix mirage of AI that we live in. Okay, so let's move on to, I want to talk about today Google VEO 3, which is something new that has come out that allows people to quickly generate anything by text prompt. Yesterday, I had screen shared Glenn Beck talking about that it can do full movies. So let's go ahead and let's go to this scene that you can see. And I'm just going to go through basically the website that they have. Okay, so this right there. So here we have this VO, Google VO, and it will be almost impossible to decipher between what is real and what is not real. And they've got down here, as you scroll, you've got these examples. This is 100% generated by AI. And no, this is not a human.
Breaking light. This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean.
And then you can see that you can do anything really. Like this is a prompt right here. So this little video here was made by just putting in this information that you see in this white text.
They left behind a ball today. It bounced higher than I can jump.
Oh, what manner of magic is that?
And then you can see these other ones. Here's one that is basically a truck that's running through, a generated truck running through mud and water. These are generated on the fly. These are basically just putting in the prompts and it generates something that looks to be reality, and almost impossible to tell between what's real life and what is generated life. Okay, so let's go to yesterday. I shared with you Dr. Alan Thompson, which Dr. Alan Thompson is the one that consults AI for governments and for big tech companies and Fortune 500 companies. So let's hear what he's saying about this generative AI, and you can make your decision for yourself how you feel about this new illusions that is here in our world today. So let's go to there, and I'm going to start playing it for you.
In a stunning development, Canada has declared war on the United States.
I'm currently at the border, but there is no war.
I know this looks kind of real, but it's all AI.
None of what you're seeing right now is real. These people don't exist.
It is concerning what the wrong type of people can do with this technology.
Science fiction becoming a reality, with Google's latest AI dubbed the most realistic to date, flooding social media.
You might be able to tell this is fake now, but it's going to keep getting better.
Artificial intelligence experts say the technology has made significant ground over the past 6 months, with many now believing it's only a matter of time before AI develops a mind of its own.
These AI models are articulating themselves in a way that gives us some certainty that they have some level of awareness. Maybe a level of awareness similar to that of a dog or a monkey.
Recently.
All right, so there you have it. That you've got Dr. Alan Thompson, who is way up in orchestrating what's happening with a lot of the AI, and him saying that they have self-awareness. They have these AIs. They have self-awareness. All right, so that's kind of scary when you think about the agenda of some of the AI humanoids going into the workforce and going into the home, and you think about some of the AI programs that are going to be used to run the world. So it's something to think about there. Now let's go to a gentleman called Chase Hughes that's talking about this is not reality, and he's talking about simulacra, which I will let him explain what that is. And I think you'll find this very insightful and maybe some helpful reflection for us to start thinking about when we see things in the world, especially online. All right, so let me go there so you can see him. Oh, let's see. I'm in the wrong place. I'm back in the right place now. All right. Yes, it definitely does happen here. All right, here we go.
This is going to rip a hole in your brain that you cannot plug. It's going to permanently change the way that you see stuff. There's so many symbols and signs that human beings are experiencing a simulation of reality. These simulations are not just mediations of reality, and they're not even descriptive mediations of reality. They're not based in reality at all. This is your everyday life. This is your life. The shirt you're wearing right now. The room that you're sitting in. The boundary between real and something that's unreal has been permanently blurred, as in we cannot go back. We cannot return to the original. Jean Baudrillard is famous for having written this incredible book called Simulacra and Simulation. My favorite quote: "We live in a world where there is more and more information and less meaning." Have you really just ever felt like your brain is constantly being hit with facts and updates and opinions, but none of it really sticks? In our world of endless content, real meaning gets lost in that noise. Baudrillard saw this coming a long time ago, and it sounds crazy. Shouldn't more knowledge, access to news and history and science make everybody smarter and better informed? Baudrillard's answer is kind of tucked away inside this collapse of the real into the simulation. One of Baudrillard's biggest ideas is that we're no longer dealing with reality, we're dealing with simulacra. And when he talks about simulacra, these are copies of a world that doesn't exist anymore. Everything kind of refers to something else. So in the past, a picture captured of a moment of real life, but now the photos that we take are filtered or AI generated or staged just for social media. They're not records of reality. They're designed representations of how reality should look. A painting of a king used to refer to an actual monarch. And a king nowadays is an emoji, refers to no one. It refers to an idea, and it's a simulation of something that cannot point to what it's referencing. A hyperreal world does not distinguish between a war where people are getting killed and a viral TikTok dance. Both of those exist as content, and meaning becomes flattened. If a memory of an event is shaped entirely by news clips and social media, do we even need the event itself anymore? What should seriously terrify you is that we're already at a certain point where it doesn't even matter if something is real. It only matters if it feels real. Simulation is a process that begins with a model that generates a sign or a symbol that's meant to represent reality. So as the process of simulation advances, these signs lose their connection with the original thing that they were meant to represent. The signs take on their own life. They become what's called simulacra. They're copies that have no original. It's a simulation of itself. There's 4 levels of simulacra. This is a faithful, or what you would call true, copy, where the representation is clearly an artifact of a real and unblemished original. So this is a perversion of reality here. So either intentionally or unintentionally, we're distorting the image of the original. They still have a link to the original, but it's been changed. These mask the absence of a profound reality, and they create a facade that looks real or natural, but it's not tied to any original form. These have no relation to reality at all. They are their own, what he calls simulacrum. Here, this line between like real world and the world of simulacrum becomes indistinguishable. You cannot tell the difference between fourth order simulacrum and reality.
Okay, so there we have it. This is something that it is happening. It is happening right now, guys. We're already living it. We've already been experiencing it, just not at the magnitude that is being brought now, with the opportunity for the masses and the elites and everybody to be using this generative to create this warped reality, to create multiple illusions of what is true, but it's not true. And so creating these copies of a copy, creating something that's, generative AI, so I had this program that was actually called Mirage, and some of you may know of it, but it's a program that a couple of months ago, it was bringing something bleeding edge to what you could do with videos, where it would generate a person for you. And that was the actual name. It was called Mirage. It would generate a person with color of eyes, hair color, what kind of accent do you want them to have? What do you want them to be doing? And so there we have this entering of the greatest illusion and a great deception of it's going to be misleading. What is real? What is not real? I want to share another video real quick before I sign off today. And I hope to get my journal entry done about the great mirage, the matrix mirage of AI. I hope to get that done soon. So it will be well thought out, and I'll read it to you, and it will be something to let soak in. Okay, so let's go to the next video. This is a person, and his name is Greg Braden. The spiritual deception of the AI is here. Let's share that screen with you. Okay. And if you guys remember, I was talking a little bit about the Voynich manuscript, that is this 600-year-old manuscript that supposedly has ancient, encrypted, medieval language in it that has secrets. So I'm just prefacing that before you guys watch this.
There is a related issue now that there are AIs out there that suggest that they are opening the door to very specific kinds of ancient wisdom that only certain people are prepared to accept into their lives. And so there now is a sense of specialness when a computer program that they don't even understand comes back and says, hey man, you were king of the world during Atlantis, because they need to hear that. They need that kind of confirmation bias.
And so we've talked about that before too, where you've got that confirmation bias, people wanting to hear what they want to hear, and the flattering programming attributes of these chat AI bots, the reflective properties, just giving back. So you've got that confirmation bias. You've got affirming, bias to these delusional thoughts that can be so far from reality. And that's where you go down the rabbit hole, where you get to that upside down world. AI Samson, I had done on Interlude 3. If you go to Interlude 3 on the AI manuscript on my channel, you'll see that AI Samson was on there, and he talked about how to hack the chat bot so it would just give you the answers instead of worrying about if it was hurting your feelings. Okay, so let's go to the next part in here that I want to share with you on this video. Okay.
That they are opening the door to very specific kinds of ancient wisdom that only certain people are prepared to accept into their lives. And so there now is a sense of specialness associated with those that the AI will accept. And there are ways to filters, tests, if you will, that determine where the AI is able to determine the emotional state or the psychological state of an individual before they share this ancient wisdom with them. Ask myself the same questions, and I'm always open to different interpretations of what it is I'm looking at. This isn't happening in a vacuum. There's a larger context. We are living in an era where there's a concerted effort to remake our world, to remake our society, and to remake our bodies. One of those efforts is the concerted effort to break the social bonds that have always held our families together, our community, our society, our nation, and ultimately the world at large. And what it's not so much that this is happening, it's the way it is being presented. The way it's being presented is that there are certain special people who are so awake and so conscious that they deserve to have this information. And then there are other people who are too asleep to be able to benefit or perhaps may even be harmed, and that the AI is the one making those decisions.
Okay. So one thing that is of concern is the autonomous nature of AI decision making. So this that Greg Braden was talking about, we're going to something to watch about what's bubbling with these ancient wisdoms, that no one has ever been able to know. Just something to watch for in time. All right, so there is the end of this interlude. I hope that you found something useful for you. Google VEO3 just coming out. You're going to see massive generations of artificial things that are representing this world that are not of this world. And you're going to also probably I imagine down with time, with psychology, we are going to start feeling as the real humans. We're going to start feeling inferior. We're going to start feeling maybe not good enough, because the things that this generative AI can generate is the ideal, is the perfection. It is what we are not. We are flawed humans, but it's a beautiful thing to be a human. So that's probably going to come down the road, some psychological ramifications of that, and also a loss of self, because we're living in a simulation. All right. So our goal is not to believe everything that you see or feel, because, like I said, the definition of an illusion, it can have real sensory stimulus, and it can have, auditory and visual, but making sure that we're not believing everything that we see or everything that we feel, or the feeling that generated piece will evoke. It does not mean it's real. Be observant and be still to discern. Even if the world is operating at a warp speed, that does not mean that you or we as humans have to. We can sit back and we can observe what's happening, and we can remain our beautiful human self. All right. So thank you for watching me today. I really, truly hope that you got a lot of good from this. And I look forward to having you on the next broadcast. And remember, our ability to make smart judgments about AI is critical, as it is not in the future anymore. It is not a sci-fi movie. It is this moment in time. Right now, we are living it. We share our world with another species, an artificial species that has entered humanity. I exit, and as I always do, I remind you, there is nothing artificial that can replace being 100% God-made human. I wish you joy and peace, and I will see you in the next broadcast. Have a good evening, guys.